Hello everybody, this is AG here, and welcome to the Kansas Speedway for Sprint Series Night in America. We're here for the 13th race of the season in the Wawa Sprint Series, and we are excited for this one here in Kansas City, Kansas. It's going to be a very fun race around this 1.5 mile oval. 17 laps of action to determine the race winner. And finally, if you've been following up with this Wawa Sprint Series over the past few weeks, you know how rough it's been for Joe Rutkowski there. He finally got the pole, signed up first for this race, and that's going to be a great place for him to start here at the Kansas Speedway if he wants to get his first win of the season and put a little bit of a cushion in between him and that cutoff. We're joined alongside Dylan Matthews for the call of tonight's race. Of course, Dylan, you're currently in the chase over there in the Wawa Cup Series, so you know what it's like to be Joe Rutkowski. But what does he have to do in this race not to fall back and get this race victory here at the Kansas Speedway?
Honestly, I think he just has to be aware of the people around him, and he's going to have to block really good in order to keep first and hopefully move on and win this race. So, yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see what he can do starting from the pole position here. And like I've mentioned, the last 3 races, he started on the outside pole and has fallen behind and had some sort of issue, finished dead last at both Martinsville and Talladega, and then slipped back and fell back to 16th at Dover last week. And he comes into this race only 3 points ahead of the cutoff. Of course, 8 races left to go, including this one, before we cut off and lock the 10 drivers into their rides for the last 10 races of the season. Jim Vincent left kind of almost has that on lock, as he's got 74 points on the cutoff. Sam Oskin as well, 69 points ahead. Avery Alford, 62 points ahead. Skylar Taylor and Trey Bartow with 57 ahead, and Benny Moore, 56 points ahead. Those 6 guys, as long as they continue to sign up, they're pretty much a lock to make it into the chase. But then you got guys like Cole Raymond, Philip Torres, Luna Lona, and Joe Rutkowski, 12, 10, 6, and 3 points ahead, respectively. And then Bruno Diacomo trying to get into that top 10, only 3 points behind. Dale Johnson II is not in this race here tonight. He's 7 points behind. But Will Parrish, 22 behind, is Emily Bull, is in this race again. 34 points behind for her. She's got a little bit of work to do to get into that top 10. And then we also have Mason Brown in this race, 49 points behind there, with an opportunity and a chance of possibly getting in. But that window is closing for these guys. Only 8 races remaining, including this one, and going to have to sign up for all the races going forward if you're below that cutoff line coming into this race. Joe Rutkowski starting on the pole position there in the 74. Alongside him, it's Jim Vincent left in the 07. In row number 2, the 01 this weekend is Sam Oskin. Had a pretty big weekend last weekend, if you know what I mean. 75 there of Avery Alford alongside them both. Or should I say Alfred going for his first win of the season, as well as his teammate Joe Rutkowski. 45's back to being Skylar Taylor. We got the 85 back to being Philip Torres, who won 2 weeks ago. Missed out on the Dover race, but he's back in the 85. Got Keith Drake in the 56. And the number 4 is Mason Brown this week. 05, first ever start for Alex Rampas. And then we have Bruno Diacomo in the number 40 there for Full Frontal Motorsports. 33 is Priya McShane. The 80 machine is Trey Bartow. Josh Harmon back in the 78 alongside the 00 of Luna Lona. We got the 02 machine, that is Roy Ribbleton, and the 77 of Cole Raymond. 96 machine is Emily Bull. The 83 first-time driver, Bernardo de Oliveira in the 83 machine, making his first career start here tonight. 60 machine of Benny Moore, and then the 7 of Will Parrish rounds out the full field here at Kansas Speedway. We'll get these guys to roll off here. So, Dylan, you know the field, you know who's in it. Who do you think is going to go to victory lane here tonight at the Kansas Speedway?
You know, that's 45 has been real strong this season, but I think it might be Jim Vincent left getting the win here tonight.
And that's 07. Has won twice already this season. That's a pretty good pick.
I think that high line is going to work for him, and honestly, he's got what it needs. He's got what he needs, and I can't blame him.
We're going to have to see how that high line does, in fact, come into play here at the Kansas Speedway. We had the IndyCar race here last night. Of course, those guys run very differently than these guys do, but that progressive banking might come into effect for these stock cars a little bit more than what we saw last night, and we could see Vincent Left possibly get that outside lane to work. The weekend that Joe Rutkowski gets the pole. But we'll have to see. I think Rutkowski's going to be in a good position here. But I'm going to look for Avery Alford to maybe get something in the work here. Talking about that outside lane. Alford, he's knocking on the door of a race victory as well, and he's doing very well in the point standing, so he's got a little bit to risk as well. He can gamble a little bit if he wants to. It's going to be fascinating to see how it all goes down here under the lights at Kansas. 17 laps of action. Top 4 finishers will race in the Great Wolf Lodge 400 on Friday night. And Joe Rutkowski is going to lead us to the green flag for Sprint Series night in America from the heartland of America in the Kansas Speedway. Pretty even there on the start. Vincent Leff on the outside lane. And it looks like the inside's going to prevail at the start of this race. Rutkowski getting the clearance on the 07. Here comes Salmon Oskin in the 01. Definitely one of the strongest drivers in this series, but so is Skylar Taylor. They've won twice this season, both on the short tracks. Vincent Leff's won twice. They're side by side for third as Rutkowski leads lap 1 here at Kansas.
Yeah. Rutkowski has a really good car so far. I think now he's pulling away with the 01. Honestly, those two might be really powerful, but Skylar Taylor, I think, dropping back now. So I don't know
see what he can do right here as Priya McShane coming behind him. And then you got the 4 of Mason Brown, and Mason Brown's one of these guys. He's 49 behind the cutoff coming into this race. He wants to get as many points as he can, but Taylor kind of falling back in the 45. As we head up front, Oskin had a shot there on Rutkowski. Couldn't quite get to the 74 there, and Vincent Leff very much in this thing as well. Of course, Jim Vincent Leff has been in every race so far this season. So has Joe Rutkowski, but they sit 71 points apart from each other. And the maximum amount of points you can get in this series is 24 in one race. So Vincent Leff has been lights out on this field this season, and I think he's the definite favorite to win this Wawa Sprint Series championship. But Oskin's definitely another strong driver. He's second in points, and Rutkowski fine with a good starting position, and he is taking advantage of that right now in the 74.
Yeah, he's doing real good here at this mile and a half here in Kansas City, and I don't really like I think Joe Rutkowski, he came off like a bad finish at Dover, but now he's having a really good race here at Kansas City. I actually think he will get a really good finish.
He may very well win this race the way it's looking. Oskin's not really closing in right there in the 01, but Vincent Leff may find a way around this 01, and I feel like Vincent Leff may have the speed on that 74. And the thing is, of course, as you guys well know, these cars do have ratings on them. Some cars are faster than others. Of course, the owner's adjusting the ratings, and you may be seeing that come into effect here tonight, but definitely a wide-out race now. A lot of spread-out drivers here in this field. Vincent Leff to the inside of Oskin for second. And now, will Vincent Leff be able to close in on Joe Rutkowski for the race lead? Of course, last week we had a wire-to-wire win for Roy Ribbleton. Rutkowski looking to do the same here tonight at the Kansas Speedway. Meanwhile, Mason Brown's in the transfer position right now. And how about this guy, Bernardo de Oliveira? First career start, and he's already up to 5th. And when Cameron Gaggi made his first start of the season in this ride, he made it onto the Cup race. And how about this one for the first-time driver? Now they're all behind Oskin here. That 01 definitely off the pace just a little bit right there. Mason Brown looking to go for the 3rd position. Mason Brown would love to get a race victory if he can close in. His teammates doing a good job there in the 07 machine. And they're side by side there for the 3rd position. Here comes the 05 as well. Alex Rompus, another first-timer here. Of course, more or less a development driver, the Chad Gronkowski MJ Williams, but still a first career start officially for this driver. And they're all bunched up behind that 01 as they look to hunt down Vincent Leff and Rutkowski for these top positions. And here comes de Oliveira in the 83 for 3rd.
Yeah. It more or less depends on what cars you sign up for in the Sprint Series. if you sign up, for example, like the 7, you're not really going to get a good run, but in like the 45 or the, you could get a great race. So, yeah.
Well, Will Parrish started dead last in this race in that number 7. He's now up to 6th. So Rain Motorsports, I feel like they're a bit of a sleeper pick. They haven't gotten the runs that I think they've expected, but they've been doing fairly well. And then Skylar Taylor, I'm surprised by this one. Just as much as you are there, not at all the run we expected as Skylar in this race, especially driving there for Trinity River Racing. That team has been much stronger this season in the Sprint Series than what is being suggested right here. Avery Alford kind of fell back there on that outside lane, couldn't get a good run there. But Vincent left your pick to win this race in that 07. Still hanging in with this one, and I think he's starting to close in on Rutkowski, but we're closing in. 6 laps to go next time by. Of course, if we do end up with a caution in this race, it will only be 2 laps, unless we are at 3 laps to go, and then, of course, the race will end right there. But Rutkowski, he's going to have to hold these drivers off, and look at this 83. This may be the fastest car on the racetrack right now. Actually, that's Mason Brown, but he's the second fastest car. Bernardo de Oliveira looking for second on Vincent left, and if he can get around this 07 fast enough, he might have a shot on Rutkowski for the win.
Yeah, I'm liking the performance put up by that 83
there.
And honestly, I think the Cup race starts, so that's lucky, I guess.
This 83 definitely a strong car there at Trinity River Racing. Top 4, of course, advance on to Friday night's race in the Wawa Cup Series. Rutkowski trying to make that race, but Bernardo de Oliveira in his first career start on the channel, looking to win in his first career start. Jim Vincent left with his teammate there, Mason Brown. They're in the transfer positions right now. Alex Rampa's trying to advance on. The 7 of Will Parrish trying to advance on. They're closing in on Rutkowski here, but it's only going to be 3 laps to go next time by for the 74. But I don't know, de Oliveira is going to have an opportunity here in this 83 to get around that 74, but oh, a tough corner there. He's going to lose some ground, and Rutkowski's going to remain out front. Joe's been in every race this season, every single one, and he has not had a good season at all. Of all the drivers who have made every single race, the 5 that have made every single race, he is lowest in points of all of them, and of course has not gone the victory lane yet this season, but he's got a shot right here. He's going to have to hold off a driver who's making his first ever start, however, to get this win. And this race is far from over here from Kansas.
He absolutely needs this win and is absolutely hungry for it. No holding back for Joe Rutkowski. As we go to, I believe that's 2 to go. And that 83 is looking like it's coming in hot, along with the 07 end of 4. So I don't know what's about to happen, but we're almost to the final lap. So yeah.
Here we go, white flag in the air here at Kansas for Joe Rutkowski, and this is the closest anybody has been to Rutkowski all race long. Bernardo de Oliveira looking for his first career win on the channel, trying to get the advantage on the 74. But Rutkowski looking to go flag to flag here at Kansas. This is an opportunity I know he's been waiting for. He's got one more corner to do it, but the 83's closing in, and this is going to be a photo finish to the inside for the race lead. De Oliveira trying to do it, not going to be enough. Joe Rutkowski wins at Kansas, his first win of the season in the Wawa Sprint Series, and he's thanking his lucky stars this was only a 17-lap race and not an 18-lap race, because if it was an 18-lap race, he would not have won this race. Oh my goodness, that was tight right there at the end. Rutkowski holds on for Appalachia Motorsports. How about the streak this team has been on lately on the channel? No, Caleb Rose has been pretty happy about that. I just know that Caleb wants to get a win as a driver in the Haas IndyCar Series. His time's coming over there. I think he's going to have a good run in the Indy 250. But Joe Rutkowski finally does it. And right there, that's what signing up first can do here. I didn't think we were going to see a wire-to-wire race here at Kansas, but that's what we saw, and one of the closest finishes of the year on the channel, under a 1/10 of a second. How about, though, the rookie driver, Bernardo de Oliveira, there finishing second there for Trinity River Racing, and then Mason Brown and Jim Vincelef giving Igor Barreto all 4 of his cars in Friday night's race for the Great Wolf Lodge 400. That was an interesting race, and Dylan, you're going to be in Friday night's race. Did you learn anything from what you saw right here? How about that run that 83 had there at the end of the race?
Honestly, I think I learned that this track is going to be one hell of a one. It is just absolutely going to be a track where you can get no break, and I really hope to get a good run on Friday night, as these cars are going to be really fast, so you're going to have to maintain your position and have to do a good job at it.
And it's going to be interesting to see what happens when we add 50 laps here at Kansas. 67 laps for Friday night's race. And I'm intrigued to see how it all goes down. Of course, the cycle of pit stops in that one as well. But Dylan, you've been doing a great job this season there for Hamill Racing Enterprises. And I know you guys are definitely working on that Speedway program. And I think you guys are going to have a good opportunity on Friday night. And speaking of which, you see the starting lineup for Friday night's race there on the right-hand side of your screen. Joe Rutkowski is going to be in his first win of the season, and that's going to put a little bit of a buffer on the points there. Bruno Giacomo, Luna Lona did not have good runs in this race. Philip Torres was kind of midway through the field right there. Cole Raymond, midway through the field as well. Rutkowski is going to finally have a bit of a cushion there on that cutoff, and that's going to go a long way. Well, hey, our next race here in the Wawa Sprint Series is at my favorite racetrack of them all, the Darlington Raceway. We go there twice in both the Sprint Series and the Cup Series. We have the finale there in September, but we have the first of 2 races on the season coming up in a week's time, and sign-ups for the Wawa Sprint Series from Darlington will be right here, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on AG, the channel. Huge thanks to Dylan Matthews for joining me here tonight from Kansas, and I think we'll have Stuart Gratton and Trey Bartow in the booth for the Great Wolf Lodge 400. Definitely looking forward to that one, and that'll be a fun race in the Wawa Cup Series in just about a little over 48 hours. I think we're going to be about, say, 49 and a half hours from now. It's when that race goes live, 9 p.m. Eastern Time on May 5th, Friday night, right here on AG the channel. Congratulations to Joe Rutkowski on his first win of the season. He, along with Bernardo de Oliveira, Mason Brown, and Jim Vinceleff will be racing on Friday night in the Wawa Cup Series race. Thank you so much for watching once again. Here are the points for the Wawa Sprint Series after 13 races, and I will see you guys later.